Hello guys, welcome to NEETwala. So we had made a new attempt that the portions common for both NEET and MBBS can be made into one, and the first most part of the video will be the basics, which is for both the NEET aspirants and it is in the MBBS physiology subjects, and the next some of the parts will be the extra parts that are given in your given for the MBBS physiology. So if you are a NEET aspirant or an MBBS student, it is the video for you guys. So let us get into the video. Today the topic we are going to discuss is about the male reproductive system. First we will see about, we have combined the NCERT concepts first, because the persons who are studying now MBBS now, or have first read the NCERT in your for your NEET exam and come here for your, so it will be easy for you if we combine both the things and explain you the physiology concepts. So we are making this attempt as a new one. If you like it, if you like this idea, do like the video and share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to NEETwala. So the today's concept is about the male reproductive system. The NCERT has given that for the first how the male reproductive system, the hormones are controlled. The first thing they have given is the hypothalamus secretes a hormone called gonadotropin releasing hormone, which stimulates the pituitary, which stimulates the anterior pituitary. You should always remember that they have given in the NCERT that anterior pituitary is under the control of stimulation of hypothalamus. So it stimulates the gonadotropin releasing hormone released from the hypothalamus, makes the anterior pituitary to secrete the gonadotropic hormones called FSH and LH. So even the gonadotropin releasing hormone also stimulates the secretion of growth hormone. Also, it is also in fact. So we will next see about the areas of action of both FSH and LH. So the FSH acts in which place? The FSH always acts mainly on the Sertoli cells in the testis. Okay, Sertoli cells. The LH mainly acts on the Leydig cells of testis. This is the concept you should remember. So another important question that has been asked in your NEET exam is which cells secrete the inhibin. So inhibin is secreted by Sertoli cells. Inhibin secreted by Sertoli cells, which is stimulated by FSH. So one of the function of FSH is also secretion of inhibin, stimulating the Sertoli cells to secrete the inhibin. That is important concept. And Sertoli cells help in conversion of spermatids to sperms. So FSH helps in spermiogenesis, that is conversion of spermatids to sperms. So this is the function of FSH. Next we will see about the role of luteinizing hormone, otherwise called as interstitial cell stimulating hormone, ICSH. The LH stimulates the Leydig cells to cause testosterone secretion. FSH stimulates the Sertoli cells, and LH stimulates the Leydig cells, which helps in testosterone secretion. So the main thing you should know here is LH acts on Leydig to produce testosterone. This testosterone, it does is it acts on both Sertoli cells and germ cells. These Sertoli cells help in nourishing the sperms, and these germ cells help in production of new sperms by spermatogenesis. So the next thing is how these inhibit itself or maintain the balance by the feedback inhibitory control. So what it does is, I have told before that inhibin secreted by the Sertoli cells, this inhibin secreted by the Sertoli cells acts directly on the anterior pituitary. So it acts on the anterior pituitary and inhibits the secretion of FSH. If it acts on anterior pituitary, it decreases the FSH control, decreases negative feedback. So if FSH decreases, Sertoli cells will not be stimulated and inhibin will not be so FSH will not be secreted. That is the one mechanism of feedback inhibitory control. Another thing is testosterone secreted by this acts on the inhibits the LH inhibits back the negative feedback as LH and decreases the testosterone, more testosterone secretion if it is in abundance level in the body. So testosterone mainly acts on the hypothalamus to give its negative feedback control. So in NSAID they get as the anterior pituitary secretes follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, otherwise called as interstitial cell stimulating hormone. So this is one important point, and they have mentioned that the androgens, what they does is androgens are secreted, LH stimulates the synthesis of androgens, which means the testosterone. In males, the FSH, this is one important concept, that is in males FSH androgen regulates spermatogenesis. In females, LH induces ovulation of fully mature follicles, maintains the corpus luteum. So the main thing you should focus here is two different things that are given, that is LH always helps or makes the spermatogenesis to occur, but FSH regulates the spermatogenesis. That is an important thing. The students always get confused. So in males, the FSH androgens regulate spermatogenesis, but it is initiated by the LH, luteinizing hormone, and FSH controls and initiates spermiogenesis but regulates spermatogenesis. That is important point. And LH initiates spermatogenesis. That is the concept. In females, the LH induces ovulation of fully mature follicles. So if you see in the graph, even in your NCERT class 12 biology book, it will be the LH will be at the peak during the ovulation so it induces the ovulation of fully mature follicles and maintains the corpus luteum formed by the reappearance of graphene follicle after ovulation. And FSH stimulates the growth and development of ovarian follicles in females. This is also an important point. These are the important points, and next we'll move into the next one. So in the adrenal gland and the adrenal cortex, it is divided into zona reticularis, zona fasciculata, and zona glomerulosa. So the inner layer is called zona reticularis. This zona reticularis secretes some androgens, which helps for the male reproductive system. This is also an important aspect, which is given in both NCERT and physiology. So the next thing is the mechanism of hormone action. So generally you should know that the testosterone, estrogen, progesterone are all secreted as from steroids. So generally these are all called as steroid hormones: testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, everything. And the FSH, LH are secreted from the anterior pituitary, but they are coming under the category of protein hormones. So these steroid hormones have their receptors located on the plasma membrane. Luteinizing hormone binds to this receptor to activate the cyclic AMP. This acts upon the help of the cyclic AMP as a secondary. The LH is a protein hormone, so it has to act with the help of secondary messenger. The secondary messenger is called CAMP, cyclic AMP. But the testosterone and estrogen can directly act with the nuclear receptors, and they can show their action. And there is two functions done by the testes. That is, first one is secretion of the hormones, and second one is production of the sperms. So we will see both the things in detail. So the testis has two parts mainly. Testis is divided into two parts. That is, first one is seminiferous tubules. The another thing is stromal or interstitial tissue. So I will explain the structure of the testis, the seminiferous tubules, how it is arranged and all. So let us have the structure. It will be like a round one, and in that there will be Sertoli cells. And it will have gametic cells. In between the gametic cells there will be germ cells, there will be Sertoli cells, and there will be many seminiferous tubules arranged like this with some distance, and between them there will be many small cells called Leydig cells. This is called the Leydig cells. These Leydig cells are present in the intertubular spaces which produce androgens, mainly testosterone, that is given. So this is the structure of the testis given. Androgens regulate the development and maturation of male sex, that is as usual. It will regulate the development of male sex accessory organs, prostate gland, etc. Stimulate muscular growth, and all male characters it will get developed. Androgens play a stimulate role in the process of spermatogenesis. Testosterone plays a important role in spermatogenesis. Androgens act on central nervous system and influence the male sexual behavior. That is called libido. If they ask, this is an important aspect. They may ask what is the male sexual behavior called as. It is called libido. These hormones produce anabolic synthetic effects on the protein and carbohydrate synthesis. So these cells are secreting the androgens, right? Which are secreting these Leydig cells are secreting. What are the functions of these testosterone or androgen secreted by the Leydig cells? The first functions are sex differentiation in fetus. That is, it gives the male baby its characteristics. That is the first one. The second thing is descent of testis from the abdominal cavity after some age from the inguinal into the inguinal canal. Then they have given that it is having an anabolic synthetic effect on protein and carbohydrate metabolism. They may ask this question: how it acts on the protein and carbohydrate metabolism? If they ask, you should write testosterone produces an anabolic effect on the carbohydrate and protein metabolism. It causes nitrogen retention, etc. For promoting the growth activities in the body. That is called anabolic effect, and it helps in hair growth, bone, spermatogenesis, hematopoiesis, and circulating the body fats and regulating gonadotropin secretion for a negative feedback mechanism. These are the functions of testosterone. So what is the male reproductive system composed of? It is composed of testis, accessory ducts. What are the accessory ducts? We will see it in detail. And accessory glands. The accessory sex glands are seminal vesicles, seminal vesicles, bulbourethral gland, otherwise called as Cowper's gland, and prostate gland. These are the important things that you should remember. These are arranged in order of first seminal vesicle, then prostate, and bulbourethral. So the next is accessory ducts. These ducts are these are epididymis, ductus deferens or vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, and urethra, and vasa efferentia will also come, and the usual external genitalia, or otherwise named as the penis. So these testes are suspended outside with the help of a pouch called scrotum. The scrotum maintains the temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius. They are not normal temperature. The normal temperature, it is about 37 degrees. The temperature of the scrotum will be maintaining will be about 34 to 35 degrees Celsius. So the measurements are given. It is about length is about given as 4 to 5 centimeter. 4 to 5 centimeter, and breadth is given as 2 to 3 centimeter. And the test is covered by dense covering. So I will explain you the coverings. This is not needed in deep for NEET aspirants, but for MBBS it is needed. And you can, if they ask extra in this chapter, they may ask this one. So the dense covering given here, the testis is covered by a dense covering. So this is of 3 layers. That is tunica vasculosa, first innermost layer, loose connective tissue, then tunica albuginea, which is made up of collagen fibers, then the tunica vaginalis, which is made up of the mesothelial cells. So each testis is made up of 250 compartments called testicular lobules. Each lobule contains 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. This coils means you should you can remember it as, the main thing is it is about 80 centimeter. So only they have given it highly coiled, because 80 centimeter coiling around is very difficult. So it is very highly coiled to form seminiferous tubules in which sperms are produced. These seminiferous tubules, as I told you before, is having male germ cells, right? These male germ cells produce sperms. So as I told you in the before histological diagram, it is made, seminiferous tubules is made up of male germ cells and Sertoli cells. The male germ cells undergo mitotic and meiotic divisions to form your respective spermatids, but Sertoli cells are helping in the nutritious activity providing activities, and the interstitial cells are between the seminiferous tubules or radix. These secrete testicular hormones or androgens. Other immunologically competent cells are also present. So I will explain you this thing. This is also an important thing that usually NEET aspirants forget, that is Sertoli cells has three main functions, that is production, physiological support and nutrition. That is the first main thing. Then phagocytic function, because it has immunologically competent cells which helps in the spermatozoa, that is it like it is eating up the spermatozoa that is not useful for or it is, if any spermatozoa becomes useless, it phagocytoses, that is it eats up the sperms that are not needed. Then it also helps in maintenance of, and it helps in the formation of blood testis barrier mechanism, which helps in filtration of unwanted substances. These are the functions of Sertoli cells. So you will also see about the course, how the sperms travel from the testis to outside, that is the penis. So before that we will move. They have given an important point that the epididymis leads to the ejaculatory ducts store and transport sperms from the testis to outside through urethra. So the next thing is, penis is made up of a male external. The penis is a male external genitalia. It is made up of special tissue, that is, these are corpus spongiosum and corpus cavernosum, that helps in erection of penis to facilitate insemination. The enlarged end of penis, called the glans penis, is covered by a loose fold of tissue called foreskin. Okay, this is foreskin. The male accessory gland include seminal vesicle, prostate and bulbourethral. So secretion of these glands consists of seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, calcium and certain enzymes. This is an important question. It is having fructose, calcium and certain enzymes. Secretion of bulbourethral gland helps in lubrication of penis. And we will also see some extra point that what are the functions of all these organs, all these glands. So semen consists of spermatozoa, secretion from seminal vesicle and secretion from prostatic gland and bulbourethral gland. Spermatozoa is from 300 to 200 to 300 million sperms are produced per ejaculation after after that 2 days of subsistence, and 60% majority of the volume of semen is from seminal vesicle. Okay, the functions of seminal vesicles secretions are, it gives nutrition to the sperm and helps in fertilization of the ovum. Secretion of prostate gland constitute the second maximum level in the semen. It helps in maintenance of optimum pH for fertilization. Then clotting of semen. The bulbourethral gland helps in secretion of mucous glands, provide mucoid consistency for the semen. These are extra edge points, and we will move into the next topics. The most complicated and important topic is gametogenesis. So it is it can be easily made. I will make you easily how to make it. So as given, there will be spermatogonia. Spermatogonia will be of two types: spermatogonia type A and spermatogonia type B. Spermatogonia type A will always tend to multiply. Spermatogonia type B will get divided. So the spermatogonia present undergo mitotic divisions. Spermatogonia undergo mitotic divisions to form primary spermatocyte. Okay. Before that, each spermatogonia is diploid and contains 46 chromosomes. So these divide and form the or otherwise you can for easy understanding, some spermatogonia are called primary spermatocytes undergo meiosis to form. Actually the process is the spermatogonia undergoes mitosis to form spermatocytes, but they have not mentioned NCERT. Do follow NCERT. NEET aspirants should follow NCERT, but for other things you can know it as the primary spermatocytes are formed by the mitosis of spermatogonium. The primary spermatocytes undergo their first reduction division, meiosis, to form secondary spermatocytes. Then those secondary spermatocytes undergo second meiotic division to produce 4 equal haploid spermatids. Then the spermatids are transformed into spermatozoa, which is called spermiogenesis. Okay, this whole process is called spermatogenesis, and this process alone, conversion of spermatid to spermatozoa, is called spermiogenesis. After spermiogenesis, sperm embeds in the Sertoli cells and gets its nutrition. This process is called spermiation. This getting nutrition process is alone called as spermiation. So next thing is given in NCERT is they have analyzed the structure of the spermatozoa. So we'll see the spermatozoa mainly contains of 3 parts, that is head, neck and tail. And the tail has middle piece, principal piece and end piece. But as far as NCERT they have given us head, neck, middle piece and tail. Actually the parts are mainly 3: head, neck and tail. And in tail only there will be middle piece, principal piece and end piece. So at last I will tell you the extra points, but as far as now we will tell you the sperm, the first 2/3 of the sperm is covered with acrosome, which has enzymes called as hydrolyrodinase, proteolytic enzymes, etc., which will help in penetrating the ovum. The middle piece has many mitochondria which produce energy movement of the tail, and per ejaculation there will be 200 to 300 million sperms, in which 60% will have normal shape and size and 40% must have vigorous motility. Sperms released from the seminiferous tubules are acted upon by the secretions of the accessory glands and they move. The secretions of epididymis and the main thing is the epididymis is the main part where the sperm gets matured, and even vas deferens and seminal vesicle, prostate, everything helps in maturation and motility of the sperms. These all constitute the semen. The functions of the male semen are maintained by the testicular hormones. This is the end of the thing. So I will cover the whole male reproductive system. In the next part of the video I will make you the extra points that are required for MBBS male reproductive system physiology. If NEET aspirants are interested, can also see that video.